Hello everyone, welcome to Backend Pin Post. In this YouTube channel, I will make content on backend engineering stuff such as CS fundamentals, networking, database, operating system, and many other tools and technologies we use in the backend engineering. But I will not just make content on surface level knowledge. I will try my best to create content where I will deep dive into the internals and behind the cases scenario of those tools, technologies, and application. And this YouTube channel is for that, specific to backend engineering. And this is the first video, and in the first video we will learn rate limiting, the what, why, and when of rate limiting. But this video will be a smaller one in terms of length because this is the first video and I am very bad at drawing, so pardon me for the drawing, but I try my best. So we will start with the definition. So let's start. Here is the definition. So it states that rate limiting is a strategy to control the number of API requests a user can make to your service within a time frame. I'm pretty sure that this definition will not make any sense to you if you are not familiar with what is rate limiting, or this is the first video where you are learning rate limiting. So how can you understand what is rate limiting? So to really understand the concept, I will illustrate a real case scenario before you, and at the end of the video, you will completely understand what is actually rate limiting, because you can relate with the scenario. You can relate this definition with the scenario. So let's start. Look at the screen. Here, Mr. ABC. Mr. ABC is an entrepreneur. Probably this is an entrepreneur, a businessman. So he has a business, and its name is fast exchange rate. So what service this fast exchange rate provide? So basically, this service provide a real-time exchange rate data. So like someone's clients send API request to this service and get the value of one currency against another one. That is the service fast exchange rate company provides, and the owner of this company is Mr. ABC. This is you, okay? So to make this application fast exchange rate available in the internet, you must deploy this somewhere else, like cloud or bare metal server, or like so. In the next slides, here Mr. ABC, the entrepreneur, the owner of fast exchange rate, hosting his application on this server, and look at the URL www.fastexchangerate.com. This is the application, and this application is deployed on this server. So we all know that a server actually processes the request. Like, you are a user of this service, you are a client of this service, for example, and you are sending API request. So it is the responsibility of the server to accept the request, process it, and sending the response. And to do this task, to do the processing task and sending the response, server has to use its resources. What type of resources? Here, look at the screen. CPU, RAM, database, and there are many more. I just mentioned these for the simplicity, and these resources are limited, right? You have not a infinite number of resources of CPU, RAM, and databases, right? So server consume these resources to successfully accept the API request, process it, and sending response to the client. Okay, so what point should I remember? That a server has a limited resources of CPU, RAM, and this CPU, RAM, database are really important to process the request, to accept it, and to send the response. And it's limited. So, Mr. ABC, the owner of fast exchange rate company, facing a new problem. And because what is the problem? The sum of his clients are leaving. Like his revenue is getting down. His retention rate of customer, his retention rate of clients is getting down. To save his business, he has to solve the problem. He has to find the root causes of this problem. And what is the problem? Let's check it. On the next slide, a client, someone that like your service has a client of, let's say, 10,000 people are the clients, premium client of your service. So what is the service? The fast exchange rate. And among those 10,000 clients, one client, or probably more than one, are sending requests to your server continuously, one by one, per second. For example, let's look at here. Time frame is 10 seconds, and this client who is causing the problem sending request in 10 seconds, he sent 11 requests to the server. So what happened here? Because server felt a pressure, because it has a limited resource to accept request, to process request, and then sending it to the client. So when it get busy with the request of a single customer, a single client, or a single user, it 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 find it very difficult to process other request. Like, so what will happen then? Like, it has a limited resource, right? So what will happen then in that scenario? Let's say this square box are the clients, and they are sending request to the server of fast exchange rate, right? Look, this one sent a request and got a perfect response. Probably this one is the one who is causing the problem. But this one send a request and it take 5 extra seconds to receive the response. Probably, let's say, if you put yourself on the shoes of that client who is getting response after 5 more seconds than the usual time, what will you feel? Okay, I don't need this service, I will shift to another company, I will shift to taking service of another company, right? That will happen. So let's say this user even did not get any response. This user got response with 5-second delay, and this user got response, sorry, this user did not get any response. This user got no response. This user got time limit exceeded, because this user's request, this client's request, has been failed to be processed in the server, because server is occupied with processing the request of this client, because this client is sending request continuously in the per second on the server. So if, and let's say here is another case, the like server is down. So because when as the resource is limited, server failed to process the request and it get down. So what will happen? So let's simplify the problem, right? And also add the solution on the next slide. How do you solve this? Here is the rate limiter. So you are the owner, Mr. ABC, and you try to implement a solution that will help you to solve this problem, right? So you implement a rate limiter in your application, and here is the server. And what rate limiter does here? It has a rules. What is the rules? 3 requests per 5 minutes per API key. So when a premium client sent request on your server, how? throw a API key, right? API key is unique to every client. So you can easily identify the who is actually sending this request. So what is the task of rate limiter? According to the rules you said, one user cannot send more than 3 requests within 5 minutes. So what is happening here? Look at first Mr. G, the client Mr. G. He is sending 2 requests and it works successfully, right? The request has gone to the server. Mr. Y, yes, that also works. He sent 1 request and rate limiter allow him to send the request to server. In the case of Mr. X, what is happening here? Looks very carefully. He sends 3 requests to the server within 5 minutes. The time frame is 5 minutes. And he is trying to send another request before 5 minutes come to an end. So when he sent the 4th request, rate limiter tracked him. Oh, hey, this is the API key 111 triple A triple zero, and you have already sent 3 requests. And you are trying to send another request. Sorry, you can't. So they block it. Here is the cross, and this actually resemble trying to say that I block the rate limiter blocked your request, so you cannot send another request before 5 minutes completed. So that is what rate limiting. There is probably more reasons to implement rate limiting, but I think for this example helps you to understand the concept of rate limiting, like what is the rate limiting and why you need it actually. So this is the first video of mine in this YouTube channel, and I tried my best to easily illustrate the concept of rate limiting. And in the next videos, like next videos, I will try my best to go more in depth. And of course, till then, stay with me and pray for me. Keep me in your prayers. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Really, thank you.